I took a photo of my kids playing in our backyard. When I zoomed in on the fence line, I called the FBI. My twins were chasing each other through the sprinkler, laughing so hard they could barely breathe. I pulled out my phone to capture the moment, snapped 3 pictures, and went back inside to make lunch. It wasn't until that night, after the kids were asleep, that I actually looked at the photos. I was scrolling through, smiling at their faces, when I noticed something in the corner of the third image. A shape. I zoomed in. A man was standing at the fence line, partially hidden by our oak tree, holding what looked like a camera. He was pointing it directly at my children. My hands went cold. I zoomed in further until the image pixelated, but I could still make out the outline of his face, the angle of his body, the unmistakable shape of a telephoto lens. We'd moved into this house 8 months ago. The property behind us had been vacant for years, overgrown and abandoned. But 3 weeks ago, someone bought it. A quiet guy named Leonard who kept to himself. He'd waved at me once from his driveway. I'd waved back. Now I was staring at a photo of him hiding in his own yard, photographing my 6-year-old daughter in her bathing suit. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I told my wife Danielle what I'd found. She wanted to call the police immediately, but I needed more. One photo could be explained away. He could say he was photographing birds, the property line, anything. So I started watching. I set up my own camera in our upstairs window, pointed at the fence. Over the next 5 days, I captured Leonard at the fence line 11 times, always when the kids were outside, always with that same camera. On the 6th day, I walked the perimeter of our property and found something that made my stomach turn. A small hole had been cut in the fence, about waist height, hidden behind a bush. It gave a direct line of sight into our backyard and our kitchen window. I photographed everything, the hole, the angle, the view it provided. Then I called my brother-in-law Kevin, who works in federal law enforcement. I sent him the images. He called back within an hour, his voice different than I'd ever heard it. Don't approach him. Don't let him know you're watching. I'm sending this up the chain right now. He wouldn't tell me why. Just said to keep the kids inside and wait. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about all the times my daughter had played in that yard. All the times she'd changed by the window. All the times Leonard had waved at me like a normal neighbor while doing God knows what behind that fence. 3 days later, 2 FBI agents showed up at my door. They asked to see every photo I had. They asked about Leonard's schedule, his vehicle, his habits. Then one of them slid a folder across my kitchen table. Do you recognize this man? Inside was a mugshot. Leonard. But his name wasn't Leonard. His real name was Gregory Vance, and he'd been on the FBI's most wanted list for 4 years. He was a fugitive from Oregon, convicted of producing and distributing child exploitation material. He'd skipped bail and disappeared. The agent explained that Vance had been living off the grid, moving from state to state, always targeting families with young children. He'd set up in our neighborhood because our property backed up to woods. Easy escape route. The camera I'd caught him with wasn't just for looking. He'd been uploading content to encrypted servers overseas. The FBI executed a search warrant the next morning. I watched from my living room window as they carried out boxes, hard drives, equipment. They found a collection of images on his computer that included my children, my daughter in the sprinkler, my son on the swing set, photos I never knew existed, taken through that hole in the fence over the course of 3 weeks. Danielle collapsed when they told us. I had to hold her up. The agent said if I hadn't noticed him in that photo, he would have escalated. They always do. He was already researching our routines, our schedules, the times we left the kids with babysitters. He had notes, detailed notes. Gregory Vance was arrested on 12 federal charges. The FBI found connections to a network spanning 6 states. My photograph, the one I almost deleted because I thought it was blurry, became a key piece of evidence. At the preliminary hearing, the prosecutor showed the image to the courtroom. There was my daughter, laughing in the water, completely unaware that a predator was watching her from 15 feet away. I testified for 3 hours. I told them about the fence, the hole, the camera in my window. When it was over, the lead agent shook my hand and said something I'll never forget. Most parents never catch it. You trusted your instincts when everything looked normal. That's what saved them. Gregory Vance received 45 years in federal prison with no possibility of parole. We moved out of that house 2 months later. My daughter still doesn't know the full story. She just knows the neighbor moved away. I check every photo I take now, every background, every corner, because I learned something that summer that changed me forever. Monsters don't look like monsters. They look like neighbors who wave from their driveways.